Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to a new Ramadan series cooking show. And today I'm going to show you. And I know for some people this might be like, what are you doing? Now once I've turned off the heat, I'll add my, okay, I think this is perfect. 4 plates for Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Haki ya Mungu hii ni tamu sana. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new Ramadan cooking show series with Chef Shamge. Today I'm making lasagna. This is a perfect iftar dish that's super easy and super fast to make. All you need is patience, and you can make it with any protein that you desire. I've made it with vegetarian minced meat and halal beef minced meat. So come along, share the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll show you how to cook this. Now, just to make this as simple as possible, I'm going to show you all the ingredients that we will need for the minced meat, and then afterwards when we get to the bechamel sauce, we'll take the ingredients from there. I'm going to make 2 types of lasagnas. So here is my vegetable minced meat, crushed tomatoes, onions, lemonade juice, minced meat, beef, halal, garlic. I have 2 Maggi cubes there and also a shrimp cube. Here I have some spices that I'm going to toast up and then mix. So here I have white pepper, black pepper, allspice, cardamom, and cinnamon. I'm going to be using salt, mixed ginger powder, Old Bay seasoning, garlic powder, sea salt, 2 types of liquid bouillon. Here is one with caramelized onion, and here is one with shrimp. So cantarelle, it's a kind of shrimp. Nyama choma spice, smoked paprika, onion powder. I've mixed 2 types of onion powder inside here. That's why you can see 2 layers, and a little bit of Tabasco just for the heat. These are the ingredients that I'm going to use. And as I always say, use any type of ingredients that you want or that you desire. There's no right or wrong. People will tell you you need to use exactly this type of spice and this and that and whatever. But as I always say, of course, some dishes you need some specific spices just to get that authentic taste, depending on where the dish you're cooking is from. But anyway, it can't go wrong. Or am I wrong? Since I'm using raw spices, I'm going to toast them up and just make sure to get out all the aroma in the spices. So now after I've toasted up all the spices, I'm going to mix them together. And you want to work this really hard and make sure you mix everything to powder. This is what we're looking for. So as you can see now, I've mixed it all together to powder. So we're going to set this aside and start cooking our minced meat. We'll start off by adding some oil, and I'm going to cook my vegetarian minced meat and my beef minced meat together simultaneously. So I'll be showing you both, but I'll be putting the main focus on the minced meat beef. And all you have to do is to follow the same process depending on what protein you're using. If you're using corn or I don't know, whatever vegetarian protein you might use, but just follow the same procedures. I'll be adding the same spices and everything. Then I'll add the garlic as well. Give it a good mix. I'll add in my 2 Maggi cubes. And remember, I'm doing the same procedure for the vegetarian minced meat, but I'll be using 1 Maggi cube instead and half a shrimp cube as well. Give this a good mix. I've added the minced meat in, and now I'm just going to give this a good mix. Alhamdulillah, I just found a good angle to film. I mean, this isn't easy. But anyways, now I'm going to proceed and add my mix that I mixtured earlier together with the black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, and etc. So I'll just add a bit of it. That's good. And the reason for me adding this is just to give an extra taste and aroma to the minced meat. And you want to make sure that you don't get any lumps inside here, so just keep on chopping the minced meat up. Here you can see my vegetarian minced meat. It's cooking quite well. I'm going to add in my spices now, so I'll start off with the paprika, nyama choma spice, 2 pinches of sea salt, liquid Maggi, garlic powder, a little bit of ginger powder, and some Old Bay seasoning, a little bit of onion powder, and we'll finish off with the salt. Now we're going to give this a good mix while we keep on chopping up the minced meat, and make sure to mix this nice and well. I'll be adding in the onion fond now. That's about it. And then also a little bit of the mushroom bouillon as well. And then give this a good mix. So now I'm just waiting for the minced meat to be cooked well, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of a taste to see if there's anything else I need to add. So I'm just going to give this a taste. Bismillah. Perfect. Perfect. It's all good. So the next step now is to add a little bit of tomato paste. I think that's good. And then I'm going to put in a whole package of crushed tomatoes and then just mix this up well. So now I've let this boil for about 15 to 20 minutes. So what I'm going to do now, what I didn't show you before, is I'm going to add cooking cream into the minced meat. And I know for some people this might be like, what are you doing? But I promise you, this is going to make the minced meat a lot more juicier. So I'll be adding in 5 deciliters for the beef and approximately 2 deciliters for the vegetarian minced meat, since I don't have as much meat as here. Now I'll add in a little bit of the lemon juice and just a pinch of it, not too much. That's about fine. And then a little bit of the vinegar and not too much, just a pinch of it. That's fine. Give it a mix. And then we're going to top it off with a little bit of chili. Not too much, just to add some flavor. So what I'm going to do now is to let this simmer for about half an hour so the meat gets all soft and tender and all the juices mixes up together. So we'll be back soon. I'm all done now with the minced meat. So you can see here the vegetarian, I already removed it like 10 minutes before, and this has been boiling for approximately an hour. So now we move on to the bechamel sauce. So for the bechamel sauce, we're going to use cheddar. This is just regular cheddar cheese, and then I have mozzarella on the right side, flour. I'm going to be using black pepper as well, nutmeg, that's a must, salt, and then obviously milk. So I'll start off by melting some butter, and I'm just going to go with feeling. I have no real measurements for this. But since I'm making a lot of sauce, it should be a good amount of butter. Now after I've added the butter, I'm going to go in with the flour. I'll take approximately 2.5 tablespoons just to start. And then I'm going to whisk it together. And you want to fry the butter together with the flour so it gets sticky. I can already feel the smell of it. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour. It should be even stickier than that. So I'll add another half tablespoon of flour and mix it together. Then I'm just going to let this fry for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now the next step, I'll be adding in milk a little bit at a time. And what you want to do now is to dissolve this mix of butter and flour so it becomes fluid. So I'll add in a little bit of milk and then just whisk it around good so we dissolve it all. I'll go in with a little bit more milk. And then I'm just going to work it up with milk until I get a good amount of bechamel sauce. And you'll see with time, it will become more stickier. So you can see now it's kind of loose. We'll give it 2-3 minutes. Now what you want to do is to cook this at high until it starts simmering, and then you can turn down the heat and keep on whisking consistently to avoid getting any lumps. And if you do get any lumps inside, just whisk even harder to remove all the lumps inside. Or you can also try adding a little bit of milk. So I'm going to turn the heat down now since the sauce is starting to become thick. And I'm going to add nutmeg into it. I'll also be adding grounded black pepper just a little bit. And then I'll add a little bit of salt. And then I'll keep whisking. And make sure to turn down the heat when the sauce starts getting thick so you don't get anything burnt down beneath. Okay, this is the thickness that I'm looking for in the sauce. So what you'll do now is you'll add more salt if needed. And then I'll make sure to turn off the stove as well so it doesn't get burnt. Then I'll give it a little bit of a taste and see if it's okay. Perfect. Now once I've turned off the heat, I'll add my cheese. And I'll add a little bit at a time just to make sure that I don't add too much. And since the sauce is already heated, you don't need to have the stove on because the cheese will melt by itself once you add it in. You can see, wow, it's really creamy. So I'll keep on whisking it together to make sure that I dissolve the cheese. And I think this amount will be good. As you can see, it's perfect now. Not too thick, not too loose. So now we have the fun part left. So on this side, I'll be building the lasagna where I have the beef minced meat. And on this side, I'll be building the lasagna with the vegetarian meat. So what I'll start off by doing is just adding béchamel sauce to the bottom. Now the next step is to add the lasagna plates, and I'm using fresh lasagna plates, and the reason for that is I just prefer it. I don't know why. I feel like using stiffened lasagna plates or lasagna plates that aren't cooked tend to be much harder to cook. But if you are using uncooked lasagna plates, I would recommend you to make sure that you cover the plates properly with bechamel sauce and your protein of choice. That being said, your minced meat, because otherwise you run a risk that your lasagna plates aren't going to get cooked properly. So now I'll just start building, and I'll add 2 plates there. Okay, I think this is perfect. 4 plates for, yeah, perfect. And then I'll add my other plates on this side. And this is why I love making lasagna, because it's almost like a puzzle. You have to find out which piece fits in where. Perfect. And then I'll just take the minced meat and add it on top of the lasagna. And this is such an easy meal to make that people might find hard, or people might think it's hard if you've never done it by yourself. So I really hope that this tutorial will make it much easier for you so that you dare cook your own lasagna instead of going to the grocery store and buying frozen lasagna that you don't even know what they have put in. And then I'll proceed to do the same thing with this one. So depending on how much minced meat you have, that will depend how many layers of lasagna plates you will put. So I think this one might be 3 layers and this one might be 2. But we'll see. And I'm making sure to cover the lasagna plates, especially the sides. Perfect. Now I'll proceed to add a thin layer of bechamel sauce on top. And what I'll do is I'll just sprinkle. And then I'll add my leftover cheese from the bechamel sauce that I didn't use. I think that's okay. Then we'll continue to do the same procedure again. 4 lasagna plates for this one, since I already know the measurements and how to build it. Perfect. Perfect. And for this one, we need 3 lasagna plates. 1, 2, 3. And then this one will cut there. We're not wasting anything. I'm gonna make sure I get everything out. As you can see, these lasagna plates are starting to get bent because of the heat beneath. So we'll just start off by adding minced meat so they bend back. Make sure to cover the side as good as you can. I'm going to add some more sauce. And the reason for me not covering all of the mincemeat with the bechamel sauce is I don't want my lasagna to be too loose and slimy. So you don't need to cover all of it. Just sprinkle it on top and it will mix together with everything else and it will be perfect. This amount is just perfect, trust me. And then for this boy, I'm going to be adding a little bit more. Since this is the top layer, I might need to do some more, but we'll get back soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit more sauce since I don't think it will be enough for both of them. So give me a few seconds. So now I've made some more bechamel sauce. So I'll just put it on top. Oh yeah, this is so nice. I'm gonna make sure that it's enough for both. Some in the middle as well. I'll leave this for now and then I'll continue finishing this. So I measure the bechamel sauce good. So I know for this one it's 4 plates. And guys, this is the thing when it comes to cooking. You gotta be flexible. I mean, if you're not flexible in the kitchen, things don't always go the way as you plan or you assume. So you gotta be really adaptable and ready to make quick changes and be flexible. That's the most important thing if I'm going to give you any takeaway from this cooking show series. Be flexible in the kitchen, dare to try. If things go wrong, just adjust and make them right. Now I'll add the sauce onto the top layer and I want to make sure that I cover the sides well. That's the most important thing. So the reason for me covering all the sides is I know once I put this in the oven, the sauce will run down to the other bottom layers, which will make the lasagna plates much juicier. Try to cover as much as possible, but you don't necessarily need to cover everything. I would say the most important part, just the sides. Now you can see we got all the plates covered up well and nice. So the next part I'm going to do is to add cheese on top. As you can see now the lasagna is done. So what I'll do now is I'll put them in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. Guys, I'm gonna give this a taste test now and I'm so hungry, you can't even imagine. So I got a good chunk here with the lasagna, with my salad. Wow. Bismillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Haki ya Mungu hii ni tamu sana. This was so nice. I'm out of words. I'm out of words. My expression says everything. So I'm gonna end the video here because I need to dig into this food. Guys, keep on subscribing, like the video, leave a comment down below. And as always, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And don't forget to smile because it's sunnah.